Hello Internet and happy Valentine's Day to all. A special holiday celebrated on February 14th every year to celebrate romance and love that takes all forms regardless of your relationship status. And an excuse to send cards to people, as well as boxes of chocolates. Sonic the Hedgehog fans like myself often associate Valentine's Day with the release of the first Sonic the Hedgehog movie back in 2020. While Marvel fans like myself would simultaneously lament the release date of one of the absolute worst Marvel movies ever to be dug out of Sony's toilet bowl. And that, my friends, is none other than Madam Web. A movie so terrible that all planned entries in the Sony Spider-Man universe were doomed to flop. Hence the empty auditoriums playing Kraven the Hunter compared to the full houses playing Sonic the Hedgehog 3. This resulted in the death of the Sony Marvel universe, which, frankly, it was begging for at this point. Same with the DCEU upon James Gunn rebooting the entire DC universe. And 1 year after the release of Madam Web, in which it left a very sour taste in my mouth that not even a large popcorn with extra butter could wash away, let alone a large Dr. Pepper, or even a six-pack of Sam Adams Boston Lager, we have another Marvel movie releasing the exact same day, Valentine's Day. And this time, it's a brand new MCU movie in the form of Captain America Brave New World. Captain America Brave New World is a follow-up to the Disney Plus series The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where Sam Wilson, played by Anthony Mackie, has now become the new Captain America after being handed the shield by Steve Rogers at the end of Avengers Endgame, and proving that John Walker, played by Wyatt Russell, was never worthy of the shield to begin with. Returning from The Falcon and the Winter Soldier are Danny Ramirez as Joaquin Torres, who becomes the new Falcon after Sam Wilson accepts the mantle of Captain America, and Carl Lumbly as Isaiah Bradley. And making his debut in the Marvel Universe is Harrison Ford as President Thaddeus Ross. Harrison Ford replaces William Hurt, who passed away in March of 2022. In this movie, he turns into the Red Hulk. Also joining the cast in this movie is television's favorite bad guy, Giancarlo Esposito, best known for playing Gus Fring in Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, Moff Gideon in The Mandalorian, and Stan Edgar in The Boys. In this movie, he plays Seth Volker, or Sidewinder, and is a member of the Serpent Society. And an unexpected MCU return after complete radio silence. Tim Blake Nelson as Samuel Stearns, or the Leader. This character was previously seen in 2008's The Incredible Hulk, and is never seen nor mentioned again. Until now! And speaking of things in the MCU that are never seen nor mentioned again until now, remember the Celestials sticking out of the ocean at the end of Eternals? Eternals is a movie that a lot of people have either completely forgotten about, or are actively trying to forget about through visits to their local bar with the intention of drinking 4 consecutive shots of whiskey, or watching better, more memorable movies like Spider-Man No Way Home. I will admit that the MCU as of late has been on a downhill curve, with the exception of Spider-Man No Way Home, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and Deadpool and Wolverine. The most obvious examples of this downhill curve being Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, The Marvels, Thor: Love and Thunder, She-Hulk: Attorney at Law, and Secret Invasion. So where does this movie end up? Stick around and find out as I give you my spoiler-free review of Captain America Brave New World. This movie was originally going to be called Captain America New World Order, but during production, the name was changed to Captain America Brave New World. I'm not sure why that is, but the very first episode of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier is ironically called New World Order. And the director of this movie is Julius Sona, who only directed 3 other films before this, those being The Girl Is in Trouble, The Cloverfield Paradox, and Loose. And this is not Harrison Ford's first time portraying a fictional president. In 1997, Harrison Ford played President James Marshall in Air Force One, alongside Gary Oldman, who, at age 66 as of this video's upload, lives up to the name Old Man.
God damn it, Barb!
And this movie introduces adamantium into the MCU, despite there being an R-rated MCU movie called Deadpool and Wolverine, featuring a mutant with an adamantium skeleton and claws. But anyway, onto my thoughts on Captain America Brave New World. I'm gonna be real here. This movie feels more like a sequel to The Incredible Hulk than a Captain America movie. Not only does Tim Blake Nelson make his return to the MCU after being completely forgotten, but also Liv Tyler as Betty Ross, Bruce Banner's ex-girlfriend. You would think that she would be mentioned by name by none other than Mark Ruffalo, right? Nope! That never happens. And then, at the end of She-Hulk, it's revealed that Bruce Banner has a son. Definitely one of the most what the fuck moments in the entire MCU. Just like a certain cameo from Megan Thee Stallion that I won't show here, as it will result in more people vomiting out their chili dogs than your average screening of The Human Centipede. Giancarlo Esposito's character was completely wasted in this movie. Yes, he appears on the movie's poster, but he's not at all important to the plot. You can just take him out and it won't change anything. In fact, he was a last-minute casting choice in a movie played with more reshoots than 2016's Suicide Squad. And something I've been noticing a lot with superhero films in the 2020s. The piss-poor CGI that makes them look like they came straight out of a PlayStation 2 game. Hey, remember MODOK from Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania? Remember how he practically looks like the long-lost brother of Mr. Electric from Shark Boy and Lava Girl? Or how about the entirety of 2023's The Flash? Or the entirety of She-Hulk Attorney at Law? Lately, Marvel has been on a downhill spiral with the effects department. And Jennifer Lawrence's fucking makeup in Dark Phoenix! And as much as I enjoyed Harrison Ford's performance in this film, he's no William Hurt and he's no Sam Elliott either. But he did do all the motion capture for his 7 minutes of screen time as the Red Hulk. Why the Red Hulk went up against the new Captain America instead of Mark Ruffalo's Hulk, I have no fucking clue. Heck, I take Tatiana Maslany as She-Hulk. The Red Hulk going up against a Captain America that's not a super soldier makes about as much sense as Ezra Miller's Flash going up against Michael Shannon's General Zod, and that is not a good comparison. I enjoyed Danny Ramirez's character in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but I don't think I can say the same about this movie, because he has a lot of work to do if he's gonna make a convincing Falcon, while Sam Wilson practically went from the Falcon into Captain Falcon.
Falcon punch!
I'm sure there's other people out there who thought of that same joke after the final episode of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and that cringeworthy speech he gave telling the Senator that he needs to do better. Not only can I see influence from the Incredible Hulk in this movie, but also bits and pieces of the Winter Soldier as well. But does this movie come close to being the next Captain America the Winter Soldier? Hell no! I mean, yes, the first trailer showed Isaiah Bradley going crazy and trying to kill President Ross all because he was brainwashed. But instead of reciting Longing, Rusted, 17, Daybreak, Furnace, 9, Benign, Homecoming, 1, Freight Car, the brainwashing is triggered by an old song from 1959 called Mr. Blue, which, funny enough, is a reference to Samuel Stearns' codename in The Incredible Hulk, while Edward Norton's Bruce Banner was referred to as Mr. Green. And apparently, the adamantium comes from Celestial Island, which the nations of the world are in a dispute over since the final fight sequence in Eternals. As for the Eternals themselves, I do not foresee a sequel happening anytime soon, nor do I expect them to appear in Avengers Doomsday or Avengers Secret Wars. Overall, this movie disappointed me, just like a good majority of the post-Endgame MCU. However, there have been a few hits in the form of Spider-Man No Way Home and Deadpool and Wolverine. But as for Captain America Brave New World, I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. This movie practically expects you to have seen all 6 episodes of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier on Disney+, so that you don't question why Sam Wilson becomes the next Captain America. A lot of films require an entire binge session of a streaming series in order to follow what happens. Like with Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, that requires you to watch WandaVision. And with the Marvels, not only do you have to watch WandaVision, but Ms. Marvel as well. However, you can skip Secret Invasion, because that's a show I consider to be rock fucking bottom for Marvel on Disney+. I feel like that's an unnecessary marketing technique on Kevin Feige's part, being expected to watch a television series in order to understand the events of the next movie. Anthony Mackie had a lot of shoes to fill in order to become the next person to take up the mantle of Captain America, after an elderly Steve Rogers hands the shield over to him. That is before the events of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier happen. He's no super soldier, but he has what it takes to be the next Captain America, unlike a certain US agent played by Wyatt Russell. I am personally not in the biggest hurry to see this film a second time, but it might be necessary for Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. But as of right now, I am not in a hurry. This is another example of Marvel going from producing hit after hit to producing flop after flop, and I have no idea how it'll recover after this. All we need now is a miracle with not only Thunderbolts, but the Fantastic Four first steps as well. So do I recommend Captain America Brave New World? Not really. It had its moments, but it is nowhere near as groundbreaking as The Winter Soldier or Civil War, and it left me feeling unfulfilled. So if you want a movie to watch on Valentine's Day, I recommend the first Sonic the Hedgehog movie, since it's currently celebrating its 5th anniversary of release. As for my next lineup of film reviews I plan for the rest of the year, I will be taking a look at the upcoming live-action remakes of Disney's Snow White, Lilo and Stitch, and How to Train Your Dragon, as well as Thunderbolts, Mission Impossible The Final Reckoning, Jurassic World Rebirth, The Fantastic Four First Steps, Freakier Friday, Tron Ares, and Avatar Fire and Ash. But my next film review after this will be Wonder Woman with a very special guest. I plan on uploading that probably towards the beginning of March as soon as Sonic and Sonic's review of Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is uploaded this month. Until then, folks, I'll see you all next time.